and welcome to the Truth Radio Show. I am your host, Dan Bidondi, in this week of February 15th, 2015. It's our Valentine's edition, a worldwide transmission on shakeandwakeradio.com and alternategcurrentradio.com. We got a big show for you today. We have a special guest, Rob Dew. He's a nightly news director for Infowars.com. He's going to be joining us for a whole hour talking about vaccines. And right after that, we're going to play his special vaccine report if we have time during the show here, because we try to break this into 2-hour segment here. We'll try to go a little more, providing if the producers let us here. But we're going to have a big show. We're going to do news for the whole hour here. Then we're going to have Rob Dew on. We're going to talk about the vaccine. So we might have to skip the vaccine report. But actually, no, we're going to play the whole thing. We'll work it out somehow. But because it goes along with the show, last Monday I did a pre-recording with Rob Dew about the vaccines, Skype interview. And for those of you listening right now, this show will be available on video Sunday night on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. It's Truth Radio Show, or Dan Bidondi, actually TruthRadioShow.com, and you could go right to our YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is called Truth Radio Show. But again, this is the video edition will be available, and on the video edition, you see the documents on the screen. We got Rob Dew on Skype, so you'll see him and me talking and discussing the vaccines, the documents, and articles being presented up on the screen. So video edition is very popular because there's a lot of information that gets put right in front of your face versus me talking to you right now over the air. For those listening on Straight Up Radio, on AlternateCurrentRadio.com and ShakeandWakeRadio.com. Video edition again after this airs on Friday night on Alternate Current Radio, and also Sunday on ShakeandWakeRadio.com. At Sunday night, this will be on our YouTube channel, our video edition. That being said, because I know a lot of people, you don't have time to watch YouTube, and some do, and versus they don't like just to sit there and listen to something versus watching it. But whatever, we have both, the best of both worlds here, and we got a lot of news to cover. We got a lot of Homeland Security gearing up. It's disgusting. Homeland Nazi Security. We're going to talk about them in a little while. We're going to get into the vaccine news as well. Regardless, so we got Rob Dew talking about them, but he also talks about other stuff that's linked and, connected with the vaccines and everything else. And we got TV spying on you. Samsung is now admitting private conversations being sent to the internet server. So, that being said, it's disgusting out there. So we're going to try to get through all this news as quickly as possible because we've got a ton of it. And, I got one right here. This is really disgusting. A church asked followers to submit to government, call 911 on suspicious neighbors. Now, last time I read the Bible, it's part of the 10 Commandments, don't bear false witness upon thy neighbor. So if you see, think of suspicion, you call the cops. You don't have accurate proof. Who knows? And this has been going on for a while. The citizen spying is disgusting. Just because your neighbor's out 3 a.m, he's taking his trash out. What if the guy works third shift? When I worked third shift before, I didn't sleep at night on my nights off. I enjoyed the TV for a while, did some research, whatever. Went out and, brought the garbage out if I wanted to, whatever. But, it's like, what the hell's wrong with people? Well, just because he's bringing his trash out in the middle of the night, or he's going through his car at 3 a.m, that's reason to call the police for suspicious activity, going through his own car. Unbelievable. And you got this church here. Mikhail Fallon, Infowars.com, reports this. Church asked followers to submit to government, call 911 on suspicious neighbors. And again, the Bible says, do not bear false witness upon thy neighbor. And a church hosting a law enforcement appreciation sermon asked its followers to pledge their allegiance to government this weekend, arguing that all state authorities throughout history have been ordained by God. Really? You show me anywhere in the Bible that says that. Then, these people bring up the book of Romans. Oh, yeah, the book of Romans tells you to listen, obey authority. Yes, but if it violates your religious conviction, you rebel against it. Like when they asked Jesus, should they pay taxes? They try to trap him. And Jesus says, hey, render unto what Caesar's, give Caesar what's Caesar's and God's what's God's. Plain and simple. If you're going by the system, like in other words, like if they tell you to do something, whatever, and if it violates your conviction, You don't do it. You rebel against it. But I mean, this is a constant, ongoing battle here, and that conditioning the churches, that condition them to, just tell your people to just keep their mouth shut, obey government. They're your boss, they're your God. You keep your mouth shut because they're keeping our pockets greased. They're keeping our pockets greased. They're, when we get donations and such, we're allowed to keep them on the 501c3. We got to talk about that sometime. We did talk about that when we had I forgot his name. This guy Rudy on. He's a representative of Kent Hovind. But the 501c3 thing is a big issue. And actually, this guy named Ernie, I'm sorry. But anyway, we got to bring him back on and talk more about the 501c3 problem. But anyway, the church asked followers to submit to government, call 911 on suspicious neighbors. A church hosting a law enforcement appreciation, like we said. They're basically kissing ass to law enforcement. Oh, do what you're told. That's it. Anyway, according to a new anonymous visitor of the Gold Creek Community Church in Mill Creek, Washington, who provided exclusive photos to InfoWars, attendees were ordered to submit to the state without question. And they had police worship today, and last week was the military worship, where they placed clips of American Sniper, the source said. They were telling people to basically worship government and worship police no matter what. No mention of police brutality, no mention of the Stingray systems grabbing our data in the Seattle area there. The church pastor, Dan Kellogg, who is also reportedly a police chaplain, used the Romans 13 Bible, just like we said, and I didn't even read this article yet, used the Romans 13 Bible verse to justify his position. As noted by InfoWars Paul Joseph Watson, Romans 13 has been long used by authoritarian regimes to force compliance. And the Romans 13 has completely been cited by tyrants throughout history in an attempt to prevent Christians from opposing their rule. Indeed, it was Hitler's favorite Bible verse here. Watson wrote, religious groups such as the Catholics in the 1930s, Germany's also used the verse as an excuse not to rise up against the Nazis when they were still in minority political party. And near the end of the sermon, members of the congregation were asked to raise their right hands and make a pledge, which included the promise to call 911 on suspicious neighbors. And it says, I pledge to call 911 if I see someone suspicious in my neighborhood, the pledge stated. And the article goes on, you can actually see the video, and it's on Infowars.com. Again, church asks followers to submit to government, call 911 on suspicious neighbors. And it sounds like a Homeland Security op to me. It smells Homeland Security all over this, folks. You see something, say something. That big campaign going on. So I'm sure this pastor here is probably some PSYOPs agent for the either some kind of a government agency, the Homeland Security, whatever. But it's disgusting. Yes, respect police officers. Yeah, there's plenty of good police officers out there, military, whatever. Great people, no doubt. But there's criminals. But yeah, what about the police brutality? That's another thing they should raise issues on. But again, don't let these churches, okay, especially those who go to church, don't let them misuse Romans 13. Don't let them do that, okay, because the government is not your boss. Again, the Bible says, yes, you listen to the authority of the land, but if it convicts you of violation, you have to rebel against it. How many times throughout the history of the Bible, the prophets, Jesus himself, rebel against authority because the authority started to think they were God. The authority started overstepping God's laws. That's what Jesus was talking about, to render unto Caesar what Caesar's. That's what he was talking about. People, the churches out there, they misinterpret this all the time. And the thing is, if you read it in full, you don't even have to interpret it. It's clear as day. I hate when people do that. Oh, you interpreted it a different way. No, there's no room for interpretation, moron. Read the entire chapter. Don't just read a verse. And I love when these Bible people, I should retract that because I'm a Bible person. But I love when these establishment Christians, I should put it that way, establishment Christians jump to verse to verse to verse. No. Don't do that. Don't jump from verse to verse. Oh, Matthew 5:4, Luke 2:9, whatever. No, you read the verse in its context, okay? You could give 10 different people that same verse. They're going to come up with 10 different meanings, more than likely. But you give that same 10 people that verse in the full context of the whole chapter, per se, here, you're going to have all 10 of the same stories because there's no room for interpretation. It is clear as day. Plain and simple. So that being said, these churches love nothing more. That's why they verse jump like a frog. We jump from verse to verse to verse to verse. First of all, it confuses the hell out of the normal person. Oh, it is from God. Oh, yeah, the Bible does say that. Oh, yeah. And it gets drilled into the head. Instead of reading the whole thing in its context, it's like the Jehovah's. In the Watchtower, one woman showed me, oh, this is proof right here that there's no second life, no second death. And she gave me the verse. And first of all, the verse didn't even say that. It was a verse by Moses. And I read the whole, it's like, all right, let me read the whole, thing in its context. And I was like, well, why don't you bother reading 2 verses before that? Actually, start from the beginning. Look, start from the beginning of the chapter. And Moses said clearly before that verse, when you die, you go to your second death or your second life. Plain and simple. And her mouth dropped. That's what I'm talking about. I'm using that for example here. But the churches, especially this pastor here, Dan Kellogg, this guy should be the diaper bag of the week. I don't have that no more, whatever, but I should get something back like that. But this pastor here should definitely be a diaper bag of the week award winner because this guy is not a representative of God. And I hope this guy does hear this, this pastor. Okay, this chaplain, whatever the hell he wants to call himself. You are not a man of God. I'm telling you right now. And I'll challenge you to your authority. I will, because you don't have none in the first place. But I will challenge you any day of the week, punk. And because you do not represent God, and how dare you misinterpret, misuse you. I mean, you know what it means, but you're not going to tell your congregation that. To say we must obey, we must bear false witness, because it is false witness. Unless you have positive proof that person is doing something bad, that is bearing false witness, a contradiction and a violation to the 10 Commandments. Plain and simple. So I don't mean to go off all this time on this, but this is a big issue, folks. This is a very big issue. Millions of people going to churches today. That's why I stay away from establishment churches. They go to the churches today, listen to the garbage, the sewage spewing from the pastor or reverend or chaplain's mouth, whatever you want to call them, spewing from it, misusing the word of God for their control, for their gain, political gain, for their financial gain. It is outright disgusting. And, folks, you should ask your pastor or priest, is your church a 501c3 church? We're going to get into that. And I did do a report on that. You just got to look on my YouTube channel. But we did expose the 501c3 churches. And if it is, get your butts out of that church. And plain and simple. But this guy is saying, oh, you see something, say something. And I smell Homeland Security written all over Dan Kellogg, Pastor Dan Kellogg here. I smell Homeland Security all over this. And they're going to say, Homeland Security authority is a thing of God. But the Nazis use that too, like the article says. I mean, I could go on all night about this, but we do got to move on. We got to really get on top of this because this is a big, big problem in this country. That's why most people are sheeps in the United States of America, because they sit in the pews like a bunch of Ned Flanders Christians. Anybody seen the show The Simpsons? You have that character across the street with the mustache. They call him Ned Flanders. That's his name in the show. Anyway, he's a goody two-shoe Christian, whatever. He sits in his churches, does everything he's told. And he's like, all timid and stuff. That's not what a Christian's supposed to be. A Christian's supposed to be bold, fearless, and out in the middle of the world, bringing witness to the unsaved. Not sitting in your pew all day and just congregating with your fellow Christians. No, that's called a lukewarm Christian. Jesus plainly says he's going to chew you up and spit your ass out because you're useless, plain and simple. And I'm calling it like it is. If you do that all day, all the time, you are useless to the Lord, plain and simple. And, we got to move on. But, I actually seen this. I went into Walmart a couple weeks ago. This is disturbing. Anybody that goes to the TV section, they have a bunch of commercials playing, a bunch of promos playing on all the televisions. And I was on the phone talking to somebody, and all of a sudden this thing came across the screen. It was a voice of Julia Roberts, but it was weird. I'm like, it just grabbed me like a hook on stage. A bad actor on stage just grabs the hook, just grabs him, rips him off. I went over there. It was just creepy, but anyway, this article, Paul Joseph Watson did a report on this. I was about to do a report on this, but Paul Joseph Watson actually caught it before I did. And it says, I've starved species here greater than you. CNN airs creepy anti-humans PSA. Now, again, this is being played in the Walmarts. And Paul Joseph Watson, the Infowars.com, is reporting CNN is airing a creepy anti-human PSA in which features Julia Roberts as the voice of Mother Nature bragging about how she has starved species greater than you. And I like to know, what's a species greater than us? Last I know, God created the heaven and earth. He created the earth for us. Plain and simple. That's why he put us at the top of the food chain. And the commercial is the work of a Conservation International, an environment organization that has received criticism for its links with corporations such as BP, Cargill, Chevron, Monsanto, and Shell, big corporate criminal companies. The company was also embarrassed when it fell for a prank in which reporters posed as a representative of an international arms dealer looking to improve their green profile. The PSA is part of the group's Nature is Speaking series, which also features the likes of Kevin Spacey, Robert Redford, and Harrison Ford. So, I mean, this commercial is, you go to the Walmarts for yourself. I think they have them all over the place, but the Walmarts I've been to, they play this. And it is so creepy, folks. Actually, go to the YouTube channel. Go right now to Infowars.com, type in search, because the article might not be up at the top anymore, but type in search, I've starved species greater than you. And those of you who are going to watch the video edition could see the article right on the screen, but go to the article and watch that video. And you can go to the channel itself. The channel, the Conservation International channel, has Julia Roberts commercial, but there's a bunch of them. And it's all promoting this Mother Nature, this ancient Babylonian pagan crap about Mother Earth and all that, this New Age garbage, okay? And that's all they promote. But the thing is that when I stumbled upon this, I was just about to do a report, like I said, but the thing that caught me the most when she says, I've starved species greater than you. I'm like baffled, like what in the hell am I watching? It bugged me out. It really did. I walked out of the Walmart. I'm like, whoa. I mean, I recorded it on my phone. I sat there until recycle back to the same commercials again and to record it. And they're insane. People walking by, soaking this in with the subconscious and think, oh, it's for the planet. It's good. Oh, it's a good thing. It's for the planet. But it's like it is creepy. I mean, like, wow. I mean, like my God intuition sense caught that and knew. From the, I was on the phone talking to somebody, and it caught me, like, again, like a bad actor on a stage, and this giant hook comes out, and boom, it caught me just like that. I'm not even joking, folks. I mean, it is that creepy, really is. But we do got to go to a break. We'll be right back on the Truth Radio Show on alternatecurrentradio.com and shakeandwakeradio.com.
The globalist social engineers are not just targeting us with propaganda. They are manipulating our genetics. We are being targeted at every level by estrogen mimickers that lower our testosterone and other hormones and natural compounds that the body needs. The key is to be aware of this attack and to fight back against it. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO, organic, super male vitality formula sourced from powerful organic herbs harvested around the planet and then concentrated for maximum potency. I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
And welcome back to the Truth Radio Show. Again, I'm your host, Dan Bidondi, and it goes by so quick. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ramble off. I think I got 2 articles off that whole segment. I apologize about that, but you got to understand, when you bring an article up, doing this as long as I have, there's so much information that comes to your head. You remember past articles, related issues that all tie into what you're talking about. So you can sit there, one article. I mean, like 17 minutes went by, and I spent it on 2 articles. I could do that with 1 because, it's just so much stuff that relates to this. I mean, like, that's why, Alex Jones does that. I worked there before, and, when I was one of his producers as well. I printed out thousands of articles for the guy a day. And he might have touched a stack or 2 during the 3-hour show, even 4 hours when he went to overdrive. Because, folks, you got to understand, there's so much that's built into these heads here. I know where Alex comes from, and especially being on the front lines with Alex, I exactly know. I studied everything. I started my radio career off of Alex Jones, and I wish to God I could speak as good as him. I'm working on it, And everybody, the thing is, when you get into a profession, you look up to somebody. Not that you idolize somebody, or whatever. You look up to somebody, like Michael Jordan looked up to Olajuwon or whatever. I forgot it was the basketball star, whatever. But everybody looks up to somebody. You know what I mean? And, because that's what, because you want to do that, and plus what drives you into that career, because this one's doing it. Like, same thing with me in the radio, Alex Jones. I'm like, it was so cool. I want to be on the radio, and I got my chance to do it, and here I am. So, that being said, I know, especially being down in InfoWars, I know what goes on. And all day long we're studying the stuff. All day long we're getting tons of articles, and, all the stuff that's linked to what you're talking about after all these years, because you start remember this story, that story, oh, that document, that government document. So it all ties in. And before you know it, a whole segment goes by, and you got off 2 articles like we just showed you here. But I do apologize about that. I'm trying to get the news out. I mean, I got to learn to shut my mouth. Plain and simple, just get to the point here, because it's saying, normally 2-hour show, which we're going to start doing a 2-hour show. Again, we got Rob Dew's interview after the show here, so stay tuned right after this portion. We got one more segment after this. At the top of the hour, we're going to go to Rob Dew's report, interview and report as well. So we're going to try to squeeze all this in a couple hours here. But anyway, murder victim's sister to gun control group, don't use her to push agenda. So we got a good report here on guns and the Second Amendment. And again, this is media that the mainstream media will never tell you about. They'll put a little article, somewhere down in the Z section of the newspaper, or the local mainstream media might report it quick. Was a gun control group, blah blah blah, and they'll just wave it off like real quick. But the national media will never touch us with a 10-foot pole. But anyway, Don Salazar, InfoWars reports murder victim's sister to gun control group, don't use her to push agenda. And the sister of a woman who was shot to death by her estranged husband told a gun control proponent over the phone that a gun would have saved her sister's life, because there was gun control advocates out there that were using this, utilizing and exploiting the death of this poor woman, just like these Mothers Demand Action morons exploit the deaths of the people in Sandy Hook, even if that wasn't even real. Now, whatever, but the kids do get shot, whatever, and they exploit the deaths of these poor kids to push their Nazi gun control. And I can't stand some of these. I'm not going to even get into that right now, because it's... these people just piss me off, plain and simple. But, this group out here was trying to exploit the death of this woman, but the sister of the woman said, hey, no, what are you talking about? If my sister had a gun, she would be alive today. Morons. And, all you gun control advocates, you really need to grow some friggin' brains, okay? I seen the T-shirt, too. It was about gun control. It says, I got my Second Amendment, and I don't need your approval. The right to bear arms, and I don't need your approval. And that's right, to you Mothers Demand Action, to you gun control advocates, I don't need your approval to carry a gun. It's called the Second Amendment, scumbags. Learn it and read it, because you're not getting to get rid of it at all. You could try to push gun control, but we're not going to comply. We will not obey, and we outnumber you scumbags thousands to 1. We prove that time and time and time again. All the polls show it, that gun control advocates are outnumbered thousands to 1. I'll challenge any one of you on that. And you can get a hold of me. I'll get you all right on the show. Live debate. We'll debate guns and statistics. Anybody out there, I challenge you. Bring it on, because you better bring 100 Einsteins, pal. I'm telling you right now. And just really, people want to take our Second Amendment. But anyway, this murder victim says, don't use my sister, exploit her, basically, is what she's saying, to push gun control. And after Jenny Cochran's sister, Jessie Doyle Cavett, was killed by her husband Joshua in October of 2013, a representative with a gun control group, Everytown for Gun Safety, reached out to her for permission to use her sister's story to pursue gun control legislation. And I'm sure they were going to ride that high too, right? Scumbags. And Cochran, however, not only didn't want the organization to use the story, she flat out told the caller, a gun would have saved my sister's life. And the phone call, which Cochran recorded, illustrates how the gun control lobby salivates over every opportunity to deconstruct the Second Amendment. And she quotes, if you felt comfortable doing so, sharing your story so other people would understand why we need to strengthen our gun laws, a woman asked in the tape conversation to Mrs. Cochran. But anyway, you got to listen to it. It's on Infowars.com. Murder victim's sister to gun control group. Don't use her to push agenda. And you can listen to the phone call, I believe, on the article here. But it goes on, and Jessie, Mrs. Cochran said, I'm very pro-gun, as is Jesse, the woman that died. Cochran told every town representative, so I would really hope that you guys don't use her story for anything, because the only thing that would have saved her was a gun. And Cochran elaborated in an interview with Fox News' Brian Kilmeade. And I'm sure Fox didn't really push that much because it's promoting the Second Amendment. And the only thing that we would have saved her life was a gun, she said. There is no way the police would have gotten there in time if she just dialed 911. I mean, he's a felon. He's going to have a gun. And the only thing that would have leveled it out is she had one, too. And this woman, I got to try, actually, you know what? Let's try to get her on the show, guys. This woman here, we're going to circle a name here. Let's try to get her on the show, because this girl right here, this girl is a very good example of people that know how to think, right? People with, intelligence. So it's discussing how they exploit the deaths of poor people, and we're going to move on here. Columbine survivor, a person from Columbine, a student that was at Columbine when the shootings were. You remember this? Gun control advocates? Well, anyway, Breitbart.com's reporting this. Columbine survivor, teachers should be armed to protect themselves and our children. And right there on the screen, you can see the people watching the video edition. Right there on the screen, he's right there, the guy that's actually talking in this article, and you can see the other guys with the guns that, shot a bunch of kids and killed themselves. But Colorado State Representative now he is, Patrick Neville, he's a Republican from Castle Rock, a student at Columbine High School when the school was attacked in April of 1999, is pushing legislation to allow teachers to be armed on campus for self-defense. Gun control advocates oppose Neville's push, arguing that firearms should be kept out of schools. Oh, yeah, so criminals can walk in and shoot the place up. Yeah. These guys are a bunch of, intelligent people. Really smart, you stupid morons. And but the Republican lawmaker knows firsthand that laws designed to keep guns out of school only restrain law-abiding citizens. And that is 100% right. So I'm sure during Columbine, when all the shootings going on, the teachers are armed. Those guys probably would have minimum damage, if any, because the teachers would have gunned their asses down, plain and simple, and saved the lives of many. Same thing in Sandy Hook. Take it, whatever you want to think about it. If it was a real thing, the teachers being armed would have stopped that son of a bitch at the door. So you gun control advocates, you can't, you just piss me off. I hate these people. I don't. I really hate these people. Yeah, they think they have a right. You don't have a right to attack the Second Amendment. You don't. Because you stupid bastards, okay? That Second Amendment is giving you the right to go out and run your stupid, unintelligent mouths off. And I'm not a far right-wing conspiracy theorist, okay? I hate when they make it a right versus left issue. I'm not a right-winger. I'm not a left-wing, okay? I'm an independent constitutionalist just like the Founding Fathers. So if that makes me a terrorist, then I stand guilty. If that makes me a hate group, I stand guilty. If that makes me extremist, you know what? So be it. But don't label me as a right-winger, because I'm far from the right. I'm far from the left. But anyway, it's just saying we got to move on. And we got more good news here in the gun issue here. Infowars.com reports cities repealing overreaching gun laws across Pennsylvania. And state law prevents cities from enacting stronger gun control in the state. And this is Chris Edger from guns.com, which is also shared on Infowars.com, reporting this. Doylestown, Bethlehem, Allentown, and Liberty includes a list of dozens of cities across the Keystone State that are in process of scrapping illegal laws to comply with the National Rifle Association-backed preemption measure. And the municipalities are scrambling due to the Act of 192, signed into law last year by Governor Tom Corbett, Republican, as outlined in the language of the law. Member groups such as the NRA can stand in for local citizens and challenge an ordinance in court that exceed the state's own gun laws. So they're trying to put, restore the Second Amendment, basically, if you want to put it that way. And that's what every state needs to do. And here we go. Another good news again. Mainstream media. You'll never hear this on mainstream media. Never. Here we go again. 11-year-old girl uses shotgun to scare off suspect during Lapeer County home invasion. And this is reported by blog mylive.com. So one of the blog sites on the website, whatever. So the article they put out, mlive.com, I'm sorry. 11-year-old girl used a shotgun to scare off suspect during Lapeer County home invasion. An 11-year-old girl was able to scare off suspect, later taken into custody during a home invasion in Lapeer County's North Branch Township. And 11-year-old girl used a shotgun, her own shotgun, to scare off the robbers in Lapeer County. Deputies from Lapeer County Sheriff's Department responded around 3:45 p.m. after January 30th to 5 Lakes Road, where the girl lived, was home alone when the vehicle pulled up in the driveway. A Lapeer County Sheriff's Office news release states that one person knocked on the door and forced their way inside the home. When there was no response, the girl locked herself in the bathroom and hid in the closet with a shotgun. And the suspect eventually opened the bathroom door and closet. I hope you're listening to this, gun control advocates. I really do. The suspect eventually opened the bathroom door and closet where the child was hiding with the weapon. The girl aimed the shotgun at the suspect when they fled the home. And the police said the girl was not harmed during the encounter. And the suspect's vehicle was located about 30 miles later, and they ended up catching the people, I believe. But again, if the guns were, I forgot, Dianne Feinstein, that's right, you gun control advocates. Dianne Feinstein said it best. If the criminals realize that the people are unarmed, they're going to lay down their guns and turn themselves in. If you believe that, I got oceanfront property in the middle of Arizona to sell you. That is ridiculous. But, these gun control advocates, no, what she should have done is call 911. Yeah, she was lucky to get to a phone, and the national response time is 11 to 14 minutes for 911. So by the time the cops got there, if she got to the phone, the girl would probably be tied up and dead or what have you, or harmed. But, oh, yeah, you stupid gun control advocates. Oh, yeah, you think with logic, yeah. Okay, where's your stats? I like to see that. Where's your stats to back your stuff up? You don't have any. Again, I challenge any gun control advocate. I want to debate with one of these dumbasses, and that's exactly what they are, really. And I'll be playing on the show. Don't worry about that. But I want to debate one of these people. Anyway, she knows how to shoot. Another good story. Again, you gun control advocates need to listen to. She knows how to shoot pizza parlor employee wards off three armed robbers, not 911. Not hiding door can of beans at them. Like that stupid philosophy they're telling college students now to bring a can of vegetables, a canned goods of vegetables or something, and if there's a gun invasion or something, to throw your canned goods at them. Oh yeah, that's really gonna work against 3 armed robbers. You know what, you gun control advocates, you do that, okay? Somebody busts into your home or your business, you throw a can of beans at them and call 911. When they got shotguns and ready to blow your asses away to take your money. So you throw your can of beans at them, or you play dead and piss yourself. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, Diane, or you tell the criminals, stop right there, because Dianne Feinstein said, hey, we're not armed, so Dianne Feinstein said that, if you realize we're unarmed because we're not armed, you got to drop your guns and turn yourselves in. Yeah, because that's exactly what they got to do, you retards. Yeah, exactly what they're going to do. They're going to drop their guns, turn themselves in, or your can of beans is going to ward off the 3 criminals with guns. Yeah, good thinking, yeah. And that's why you got the majority, not. That's why we have the majority, plain and simple, because people know how to think on their own. Even Democrats love their Second Amendment. So keep trying. If you want gun control, move to North Korea, because you're not getting it here. I don't care how you take that. Get the hell out of my country. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Anyway, she knows how to shoot. A pizza parlor employee wards off 3 armed robbers. Chuck Ross from Daily Caller reports this. After Sarah Cherry's father was robbed at gunpoint 2 months ago at the Arkansas Domino's Pizza store, the former Army military officer began carrying a gun with her for protection at her job at the same restaurant. Cherry had cause to use that gun, a .380, Wednesday night when 3 armed men wearing hoodies stormed into the eatery and shot at her during a robbery attempt. But, 911 would have saved her life, throwing a can of beans at them. Yeah. Anyway, when this is quoted, when she came around to the front of the store, she didn't know what was going on. Sherry's father, Clint Cherry, told the Daily Caller during a phone interview, she came around the front and she shot. And she was defending the people more than herself, Sherry added. Noted that there were 4 other employees that in the store at the same time. So this is a hero. This is a local hero. And, again, more guns equals less crime because one, they stopped the robbery. Two, they saved lives. So I would love to see what you gun control advocates have to say about that. Please enlighten us how throwing a can of beans at them or then same philosophy from Senator Dianne Feinstein is going to work. I'll call it, wait, guys, I'm going to call 911. That's going to stop you from robbing us. Yeah. That's going to stop you from blowing my ass away. Yeah. Morons. And you got another one right here. Fourth grader says he has the one. I'm sorry. I'm just jumping here because we got to go to break. I'm just charged up. I'm fired up right now for the Second Amendment. I'm fired up for liberty because I'm sick of these bastards trying to take our Second Amendment. It's making me sick to my stomach, and I just want to tear somebody's head off, man. I swear, because I'm just sick of these son of a bitches that think they're Americans, dare to call themselves Americans, and want to take our Second Amendment, which is the most important amendment of them all, because without the second, you don't have the rest. But we will be right back on the Truth Radio Show. Stay tuned.
My friends, we have done it. With Dr. Group's help, we have developed the ultimate male vitality supplement with 8 concentrated super herbs. This is the answer to the globalist war on male vitality with the estrogen mimickers they've added to the food and the water supply. And now our test pilot, our Chuck Yeager, Dr. Edward Group, is here to test his greatest invention. Doctor?
Thank you, Alex. I will now take 2 droppers to test this ultimate male vitality formula.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a momentous moment. Thank you, Dr. Group.
I will activate my muscles by doing push-ups.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the move. This is unprecedented. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see what happens right now. Oh my God! What the hell? Wait. Get out of here. Shut this down. This is not safe. This is not. Hold on. Settle down. Get another doctor. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with him. Help him. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not intend for that to happen. I take it personally. Do not have those problems. Again, these are authorized herbs, well known to be safe. Please, doctor, wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to cut to commercial for just a moment. Cut. Get everybody out of here. Super male vitality. It's awesome. Just not this awesome. Oh my God! What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, the dramatization you've just seen is just that. It is satire to illustrate in a satirical way the incredible power of super male vitality. It will not turn you into Conan the Barbarian, but it will help block some of the estrogen mimickers and reportedly let your glands produce the natural hormones your body needs. It also does have some other side effects in the human testing that we discovered, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to illustrate right now what that is. Let's see if I can do it again. It takes some focus. Up, and away! Start your journey to super male vitality today at InfoWarsLife.com.
And we're back on the Truth Radio Show with Dan Bidondi, and I apologize about the swearing and the ranting. Just like you can't not help, because the thing is, my ancestors, and I know most of you probably did too, that were, Americans, whatever, that fought in the Revolution. My ancestors there with George Washington, and it just makes me sick that these people think our Bill of Rights are outdated, that the Constitution is a thing of the past. It makes me so fired up. It's like when Jesus tipped the tables over in the temple. It's the same thing. It's called righteous anger. It really is, because it pisses me off to no end. And and at the point you get the adrenaline that goes through you, it makes you want to just flip this desk, run through that wall over there, and just take on 1 million people at once and just punch them all in the mouth, man. All these idiots out there who don't appreciate the liberty. And these gun control advocates, they take the cake. And they are the definition of morons, and that's exactly how I mean it. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. That's exactly how I mean it, because they take the cake for morons. They should put a moron in the dictionary, put gun control advocate in there. I mean, I can't say it any better than that. I really can't. because without the Second Amendment, you don't have nothing. I mean, you take this, you look at all the history proves it. The statistics prove it. That's why I challenge anybody out there. If you want to debate, we'll do a civilized debate. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to yell and scream at you. No. Okay, we'll do a civilized debate. I challenge anybody to come on the show and say, give me your philosophy how gun control actually works. Show the stats that ain't there, because according to all FBI statistics, states with gun control have the highest crime and murder rates in the country on record. And that's not just the FBI stats. That's all polls and everything. And so you show me how gun control works. You know what I mean? I'm going to leave it at that. But we do got to move on to our next subject, Homeland Security. But before we get to this, I just want to report this article here. FBI officials saying we need to keep fear alive to justify terror budget because they're looking for more money constantly. So what they do is they keep the terror, the fake terror, war on terror that's going on. And I know I get a lot of flack from it. How could you say that about our veterans? Those wars are written. You know what? I'm not going to argue with you, okay? The war, those over there, we fund ISIS. We fund them. And you got these other countries out there who are risking their own troops' lives, all that money they're spending to fight off ISIS, while the United States government is arming and funding ISIS. You know, it just doesn't make sense. It really don't. And then I get called un-American because I tell the truth. Even though most vets that come home admit, the war on terror is it's a fraud created by the CIA on record. But you know what? Yeah, you get called un-American. It's just disgusting, it really is. And anyway, FBI official says we need to keep the fear alive to justify our terror budget. And this is Paul Joseph Watson. Info is reporting appearing in the documentary about the FBI entraps and provocateurs terror suspects. Former FBI Assistant Director Thomas Fuentes admits that the federal agency needs to, quote-unquote, keep fear alive in order to justify budget increases. And I guess if you go to this article, FBI official, we need to keep fear alive to justify terror budget. It's right on the article, as you can see on the video edition of this. And you go to the article there, you could actually watch the documentary, I believe. But anyway, moving on here, we got to move to our next report. The Homeland Security. I mean, I can't say enough about Homeland Security. Yeah, especially that witch, Jen Napolitano, that used to run it. She built Homeland Security into this great Gestapo, anti-constitutional, anti-liberty and freedom organization, agency, I should call it, whatever. It's disgusting, really is. Well, you got Homeland Security here. Yeah, the great boys at Homeland Security, because they're keeping us safe from terrorists. Yeah. And Homeland Security sets up Obama amnesty complaint hotlines for illegals. So you illegals out there, if you got a problem, somebody's bitching about the amnesty problem, you could call Homeland Security. Hell, they bust you in the country anyway. They put you into luxury apartments on our dollar. We pay for your medical bills while our vets that come home with their legs blown off are living in gutters because our country don't want to take care of them. Then they get put on top of the Homeland Security's terrorist watch list. That's right, veterans, all you do, you serve your country, you come home, you get jack crap, you get put out into the street, and you get your name on the top of Homeland Security's terrorist watch list. Thank you for serving our country. That's exactly how they feel. But they'll put these illegal immigrants or the best health care, luxury apartments on our dime while there's homeless Americans out there on the street. Unreal. But Homeland Security, this is the Washington Times reporting this. Surprisingly. Anyway, Homeland Security sets up Obama amnesty complaint hotline for illegals. Well, it's not surprising because Washington Times, they go along with everything our commander and Lord and Savior Barack Obama has to say. And that's sarcasm, by the way, for those of you who are listening there. But anyway, Homeland Security Department has set up hotlines for illegal immigrants who believe their rights under President Obama's amnesty policy have been violated. So, yeah. Now they're getting the free apartments and all that. So if they feel their rights have been violated, they're going to call the Homeland Security hotline and rat you out. And in a memo announced in the customer complaint line, U.S. Customs and Border Protection asks illegal immigrants to please, quote unquote, please tell us about your experience. If they believe they were treated, quote unquote, contrary to the new DHS, that's Department of Homeland Security, enforcement priorities, which are unconstitutional, by the way. The department alerted stakeholders last week of 3 complaints hotlines, one for CBP, which oversees the Border Patrol, one for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which handles immigration laws in the nation's interior, and one for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which poised to handle the millions of amnesty applicants expected to be filed. And the amnesty policy grants tentative legal status up to 4 million illegal immigrants and orders Border Patrol agents and Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents not to arrest other illegal immigrants who say they have been hired in the U.S. for years but don't meet the criteria for full amnesty. So, folks, welcome to the North American Union. Yeah, you read it right there. It's right. You can go to the Homeland Security's documents. Go to the website. If you think I'm a lying conspiracy theorist, go to Homeland Security's website. It's right there. Unbelievable. And yeah, you just got to take a breath sometime because, I mean, it does get you mad, it really does. And you got Homeland Security Chairman warns of a cyber Pearl Harbor because we just got done telling you, where is that? I just had the article about the FBI stating that, hey, we need to keep the fear of terror alive for money. Now you got Homeland Security Chairman. He's warning of a cyber Pearl Harbor. Ooh, like a fire sale, what they call it. So Washington Times again reporting it took an attack by a nation state on Hollywood to bring the threat of cyber attacks to the forefront of the Americans' conscious. But we have been fighting this war for decades, and most Americans think that cyber attacks as just threats to the identity of financial information, such as the recent high-profile data breaches on Target, Home Depot, and J.P. Morgan Chase. As the Sony attack has proven, even though it's been proven for hoax, it was all staged, the Sony attack, but they're saying the Sony attack proves we have now reached a new era in cyber terrorism where threats cause just as much damage and fear as bomb threats. And while the economic damage of this hack is oh man, I'm just like so fed up. It's like when you get to the point, you just like you want to, you're trying to read and your brain's trying to say something else because you're just pissed off. But you can't help not getting mad about this stuff. You really can't. And they're saying the real significance lies in the fact that, according to the FBI, this marks the first major destructive cyber attack waged against a company on U.S. soil. Oh my God! So they're going to say we need more funding because they are calling for more funding. Because our next article we're going to talk about that, how they calling for more funding. But yet, to do that, they need to put the fear into the people, so they automatically get approved. Oh yeah, the person says, oh yeah, we should fund Homeland Security because we got the cyber terrorists, and we got the FBI saying we openly admitting, hey, we need to promote fear so we can keep funding. But moving on, right here, Bonner. This is CNS News reporting this. Bonner, our goal here is to fund Department of Homeland Security, and this relates to the last article we were just talking about. How Homeland Security, warns of a cyber Pearl Harbor. That's a Homeland Security chairman warning of that. But Bonner says, our goal here is to fund the Department of Homeland Security. And again, Susan Jones, CNSnews.com, reports House Republicans say that they're eager to pass a bill to fully fund the Department of Homeland Security as long as no funding goes to President Obama's vastly expanded immigration program. So they try to play the good guy, because, it's good you don't give Obama money for the immigration program. Great. But, let's fund Homeland Security. But, Bonner, you got to understand, they're on the same damn team. And we know you're on the same damn team, too. You play, I'm a Republican. I stand for liberty and truth. You don't even stand for nothing. You're a fraud, just like most of the Democrats are, too. Because I don't play that right-left bull crap. Both sides are frauds. I'm not even going to get into that. It's just a right-wing, left-wing paradigm. They're both parties getting on the same New World Order plane. Enough said right there. But at a news conference Tuesday morning, House Speaker John Bonner, Republican from Ohio, said this is actually not about the issue of immigration. This is about the president acting lawlessly. And he's like, just, getting all the liberty people, look, against the president, but we got to fund Homeland Security. And our goal here is to fund the Department of Homeland Security, and that's how you read through the lines. See, they're putting it out right there. You know, we're against Obama. We're not going to fund him for his immigration thing. So you got all the Liberty people and the Republicans saying, "Oh yeah, great, yeah," because he's actually going against Obama. We're not going to fund his thing, but quietly, but we got to fund Homeland Security. But Homeland Security shipping the illegal immigrants into the country. Does that make any sense at all? You Republicans out there are people who believe in this crap. So I don't want this money going to Obama and his immigration program, but we're going to put the money toward Homeland Security, who's shipping the illegal immigrants in. Does anybody not see what the hell I'm talking about? Unbelievable. So Obama's calling for more money to fund Homeland Security, but disguise himself with distract everybody with the Obama issue and immigration, but funding the very agency that's bringing the illegal immigrants into the country. So you gotta laugh, you really do, because it's mind-boggling that people can't see through the lines like that. And Daily Caller reports here, Homeland Security threatens consequences if funding bill isn't passed. So here we go. Bonner calling from the bill, and the FBI calling for money. But here, Bonner's calling for a goal to fund Homeland Security. But now, according to the Daily Caller, Homeland Security is threatening now consequences if the funding bill isn't passed. Gee, wow. And Department of Homeland Security Secretary Johnson released a statement Tuesday night saying that any political charge amendments in the DHS funding bill that attempt to defund our executive actions on immigration reform would result in consequences. And if that's not a blatant threat, and why this woman here isn't in jail, what in the hell kind of country we living in, really? Johnson warns that if the DHS were to be funded by a short-term funding bill known as continuing resolution, the department would not be able to fund new non-disaster grants to state, local, and tribal governments, law enforcement, emergency response officials, and fire departments. Secretary Johnson said that the state, local, and tribal government activities included counterterrorism equipping and gearing up major metropolitan cities would be cut. The department runs on a short-term funding bill. During his visit to the Capitol Hill Tuesday, he told reporters, "We're in trying times right now, and we need to clean appropriations bill for Homeland Security." And he's saying we need a clean appropriations bill for Homeland Security. And I apologize about the mispronunciation here. But anyway, I'm here to talk, quote unquote, I'm here to talk to any senators on both sides of the aisle who are willing to listen to me and engage in discussion about getting what we need to for the budget of Homeland Security for this nation, he continued. But then he goes on to say, there's got to be there's got to be consequences if I don't get this money. Openly threatening politicians, but the same politicians fund these guys. But we got to move on because we'll run out of time quick, and we got to do a whole report. So stay tuned. A whole report on this Homeland Security thing. Homeland Security chief opens largest immigration detention centers in the United States, but again, they wanted to fund the immigration thing, but they ship them into the country. Now they're opening the largest immigration detention centers. Heat and hot water, everything included. And we do got to move on because we're running out of time here. But again, stay tuned after this. We're going to have the complete interview with Rob Dew of Infowars.com about the vaccines. But again, Jay Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, came to the South Texas outpost on Monday to inaugurate a 50-acre detention center that will hold as many as 2,400 migrants crossing the southwestern border illegally, becoming the largest immigration detention facility in the country. And though President Obama has offered work permits and protection from deportation of millions of unauthorized immigrants, he also ordered new policies to reinforce border security. Is that not a contradiction and moronic? I don't understand how people could believe this guy, but hoping to prevent a new surge of illegal crossings, Mr. Johnson presided over an opening of the center in Diley, 85 miles across the northeast border of Laredo, to draw more attention to the border security pieces of the president's executive actions in response to the further of those actions caused. And real quick here, we got another article, another Infowars article. Department of Homeland Security relaunches the See Something, Say Something program. As we talked about that pastor at the beginning of the show, that pastor talking about you see something suspicious out, your neighbors, your suspicious neighbors to call on them. Well, they're relaunching it again. And I told you, it smelled Homeland Security all over that. And we're going to get to the bottom of that. And again, I want you right now, you naysayers out there, go to the Department of Homeland Security's website, go to the National Archives if you don't think Homeland Security is a bunch of tyrants, and you regular Homeland Security people that don't know what your bosses are really about, and you're good people, and I believe you are good people, but your bosses are criminals, okay? Your bosses are Nazis. So go to your own Homeland Security's website, look it up for yourself, and you naysayers as well. Right here, you got Office of Operations Coordination of Planning. And this here is a bill to publicly available social media monitoring and situation awareness initiative to spy on people with their social media pages. And we're out of time. And also, finally, Endgame, the Office of Detention and Removal Strategic Plan, right here, Homeland Security document. I mean, this is Nazi to the core, folks, right here. But we're out of time. Again, stay tuned. Right after this, we got my interview with Rob Dew, Nightly News Director for the Infowars Nightly News. Well, thank you for joining us on the Truth Radio Show on ShakeandWakeRadio.com and AlternateCurrentRadio.com. This is Dan Bidondi for the Truth Radio Show. Have a great week. God bless.